You throw it away every single morning, you rinse it down the drain, dump it in the trash, and never think twice about it. But what if that dark, wet powder sitting in your coffee filter right now is one of the most powerful plant boosters on the planet? Gardeners who figured this out years ago are growing tomatoes the size of softballs, roses that bloom 3 times a season, and vegetables so healthy their neighbors keep asking what their secret is. And their secret costs them literally nothing. We are talking about used coffee grounds. $2 worth of coffee from your kitchen makes plants grow faster, stronger, and healthier than most fertilizers you will pay $15 or $20 for at the garden center. Today, you're going to learn exactly how to use them, which plants love them, which plants you should never put them near, and the one method most people get completely wrong that actually damages their garden. Stay until the end because the final tip completely changed how I think about feeding plants. Most gardeners spend a small fortune trying to keep their soil healthy. A bag of balanced fertilizer runs you anywhere from $12 to $30 and lasts maybe 1 season. Soil amendments, compost boosters, pH adjusters, it adds up fast. A serious home gardener can easily spend $200 to $400 a year just trying to keep their soil in decent shape. And here's the frustrating part. You go to the garden center, you read the labels, you follow the instructions, and your plants still look tired. Your tomatoes are yellowing at the bottom. Your roses are not blooming the way they should. Your herbs are growing slowly and the leaves are pale. You keep buying product after product trying to fix it. Sound familiar? The problem is usually not that you are doing something wrong. The problem is that your soil is missing something fundamental. Plants need nitrogen to grow green, healthy leaves and stems. They need it consistently, not in one big chemical dump that washes away after the first rain. They need organic matter that feeds the microscopic life in your soil, the bacteria, the fungi, the earthworms, because that underground ecosystem is what actually makes nutrients available to your plant roots. Without it, even expensive fertilizers do not work properly. Your plants sit in dead, compacted soil and struggle no matter what you pour on them. That is the real problem. And coffee grounds fix it in a way that is almost embarrassingly simple. Here is what is actually happening inside used coffee grounds. After brewing, coffee grounds contain roughly 1.5 to 2% nitrogen by weight. Nitrogen is the engine of plant growth. It is what drives leafy, vigorous green growth and strong stems. Beyond nitrogen, grounds also contain measurable amounts of potassium and phosphorus, the other 2 primary nutrients plants need most. But the nitrogen is the star. Now here is the important part that most videos skip entirely. The nitrogen in coffee grounds is not immediately available to your plants. It is locked inside organic compounds that need to break down first. This is actually a good thing. It means the nutrients release slowly over weeks and months, feeding your plants steadily instead of in one overwhelming chemical surge. This is called slow-release nutrition, and it is exactly what expensive organic fertilizers try to replicate, at 10 times the cost. Beyond the nutrients themselves, coffee grounds dramatically improve soil structure. They add organic matter that loosens compacted clay soil, helping roots push through more easily and allowing water to drain properly instead of pooling. In sandy soil that drains too fast and dries out quickly, that same organic matter helps retain moisture so your plants are not stressed between waterings. And then there are the earthworms. Earthworms are genuinely one of the most valuable things you can have in your garden soil, and they are absolutely attracted to coffee grounds. More worms means more natural aeration, more natural fertilizer from worm castings, and a more active, living soil ecosystem overall. A store-bought bag of worm castings costs $8 to $15 for a small amount. Coffee grounds bring the worms to you for free. Now, before you run to your kitchen and dump your entire week of coffee grounds directly onto your plants, stop. Because there's a right way and a wrong way to do this, and the wrong way genuinely does cause problems. The most common mistake people make is piling grounds directly against plant stems or creating a thick layer on top of the soil. Used coffee grounds, when they dry out, can form a dense crust on the surface of your soil. That crust repels water instead of absorbing it, and it can block air from reaching your roots. That is the opposite of what you want. So here is exactly how to do it correctly. First, collect your used grounds and let them dry slightly if you have time. Fresh wet grounds work fine, but dried ones are easier to handle and store. Second, sprinkle a thin layer around the base of your plants, no more than ½ inch deep. Keep the grounds at least 2 to 3 inches away from the actual stem of the plant. Think of it as a ring around the plant, not a pile against it. Third, use a hand rake or just your fingers to mix those grounds lightly into the top inch of your existing soil. This prevents the crust problem entirely and gets the grounds making contact with your soil microbes much faster. Fourth, water the area normally after applying. This starts the decomposition process and helps everything integrate into the soil. Fifth, repeat this process every 3 to 4 weeks through your growing season. You are building organic matter gradually, and that is exactly the approach that creates genuinely healthy soil over time. Sixth, consider mixing your grounds into your compost bin rather than applying directly to beds. Coffee grounds are a fantastic green compost material, meaning they add nitrogen to your compost pile and help it break down faster. Finished compost made with coffee grounds is extraordinarily rich. If you have a compost setup, add grounds regularly and mix them in with your brown materials like dried leaves or cardboard. Seventh, if you are dealing with specific plants that love slightly acidic soil, blueberries, azaleas, hydrangeas, rhododendrons, you can be a bit more generous with your application because those plants genuinely thrive when soil pH drops slightly. Coffee grounds have a near neutral to mildly acidic pH, so they are useful here, but they are not a dramatic pH changer. Do not expect them to transform highly alkaline soil into acidic soil on their own. Think of them as a gentle nudge in the right direction combined with everything else they bring. The plants that respond best to coffee ground applications are leafy vegetables like lettuce, spinach, kale, and cabbage. They are heavy nitrogen feeders, and you will see visibly greener, more vigorous growth. Tomatoes do very well with periodic applications, especially early in the season when they are building strong stems and root systems. Roses are famous for loving coffee grounds, and experienced rose growers have been using them for decades. Carrots and radishes benefit because the grounds help loosen soil structure and make it easier for those root vegetables to push downward. Houseplants that prefer slightly acidic conditions, pothos, ferns, African violets, can benefit from a very light application every month or two. The plants you want to be careful with are those that prefer alkaline or neutral soil. Lavender prefers alkaline conditions. Geraniums, asparagus, and most herbs like rosemary and sage do better without coffee grounds or with very minimal amounts. Tomatoes love nitrogen, but they also need calcium and other nutrients, so coffee grounds should be one part of a balanced approach for them, not the only thing you do. People who start using coffee grounds consistently in their gardens report the same things over and over. Darker, richer-looking soil within a few months. Noticeably more earthworm activity when they dig. Greener foliage on nitrogen-hungry plants. Better water retention in sandy soil, especially during dry stretches. One thing that surprises a lot of people is how quickly the soil starts to look different. Darker, more crumbly, more alive. That is the organic matter building up, and it is one of the most satisfying things to watch happen slowly over a season. If you start now and stay consistent, by the end of one growing season, your soil will be measurably better than it was. This is not a miracle, and it is not going to replace every other thing you do in your garden. But as a free, consistent input that you already produce every single day, it is genuinely one of the smartest habits you can build as a gardener. If this gave you something useful, hit the like button because it helps other gardeners find this information. Subscribe if you want to keep learning practical, honest gardening tips that actually work. Next time, we're going deep on compost. Specifically, what the ratio of brown to green materials actually needs to be and why most home compost piles fail for one very fixable reason. And the final tip I promised, do not limit yourself to your own coffee grounds. Most coffee shops, independent ones especially, collect their used grounds and give them away for free to gardeners. Some will bag them up for you if you ask. Starbucks ran a formal program for years offering free grounds to gardeners. You could be adding far more organic matter to your garden than your own household produces, completely for free, just by asking. Go build better soil. Your plants are waiting.